Alright, we're reading chapter 36.5 of Bloom into You. This one I thought I was behind enough already. Turns out we got a bunch of bonus chapters to read too, but the premise of this one looks fantastic. Riko and Miyako, their teacher and the barista, who have a lovely adult, kind of domestic relationship. We're gonna see a flashback. Oops, I changed the chapter. We're gonna see a flashback. Looks like she just broke up with someone. Jerk, I didn't care about you anyway. Why am I crying? So I assume it's a guy, because this being one of the great powers of Yuri, if you ever want to just like villainize a character that's not relevant to the plot at all, make him an ex-boyfriend. You can just throw him under the bus. That's my guess. That's my guess. But then again, it could be more nuanced than that. And who does she run into but her future lover? There's a smoking area back here. Didn't expect to run into one. I'll leave. This sort of fated encounter, you know? It's a little cheesy, you know, it's just very circumstantial and convenient. But it mirrors quite nicely the first encounter that Yu has with Nanami-senpai. You know? It's not quite the same. Instead of running into her after a breakup, she runs into her after she turns down a confession. But it's the same kind of emotional space, you know? It's the same kind of like... People hardly ever come by here, just take your time. Well, isn't that nice? She's like, this is actually a good spot for you to cry. You really should just sit here and have a cry. So take your time. That's in the moment, that's extremely considerate of her. I think that's the most reasonable yet considerate thing she could possibly do. That's nice. Isn't that nice? I think that's so nice. And then she drops off a pack of cigarettes. Well, I don't know about that. It's kind of her horrible, horrible hobby, but you know, that's nice too. You have a class together. Made you waste your cigarettes, willing to make up for it. And you know, one cigarette versus a whole pack. That's more than enough making up for it, but it's fine, thank you. I love this transition. You know, they go from just this kind of awkward chatting to, well, you know, let's get lunch. It's Kitsune Udon, one of my all-time favorites. And to hurry up and leave home. I live at home. My family runs a cafe out of this house near Town Station. We know that cafe, of course. Oh! Oh, I love this. I love this, I love this, I love this. That they have this nice conversation. They have lunch. Would it be okay to ask why we were crying? Why you were crying when we first met? Isn't that nice? Isn't that just like you asking permission, of course, knowing, okay, I'm taking this relationship another step forward. Do you want to, like you as well, but doing it not you know, because you want the relationship to advance. Not being the primary reason, at least, but being because you genuinely want to know, why was this person crying? Is there anything I can do to help? The guy I was dating dumped me. Of course, said I'm not cute. That's for me to decide, though. Ooh, good for you. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah. Well, of course, you know, you can say that's right, but it's a very, very hard thing to actually internalize. Kept telling me to do this and that, and I got mad, and he broke up with me. Pretty selfish guy. She goes in a little bit. You're just so easy to talk to, Kodomos. Well, that's what makes her a good barista. It's fine, I like listening to people. Nice, thanks. So she ends up ranting for quite a while, I'm sure. Ooh, and then, why would my ex have to be at that group date? So this is presumably quite a few days later. She's gone to a Gokon, or whatever they're called, a group date. Her ex was there. She's very upset. It feels like Kodama didn't go as well. Let's break down the scene. We're in Hakozaki's apartment. She's wearing like a nice outfit, you know, she's wearing like leggings and a skirt and a dress shirt. And she's got like her bag right here. So she just came from the group date. And she was like, oh my god, this is a disaster. Do you want to come over and hang out? And she stopped by the combini, picked up some beer, picked up probably some snacks. She's got the plastic bag. She's got her kind of comfy, just hanging out clothes. See, this is manga. This is manga. It's like, it's not really key that you understand exactly the chronological order and circumstances of how this all happened. But just from subtle indications in the art, you can figure it out just from this first panel of this scene. I love it. I just love it. Oh, that was pretty awkward. Oh, okay. So she actually came on the group date too. All right. I was wrong. I'm a little surprised. I would have thought she'd have no interest in doing something like that. Because my guess is that Kodomo-san already fully understands her sexuality, and that Hakozaki sensei is going to have that kind of sapphic awakening, as you could say. So they're going to drink anyways, and this is probably where something happens. Just too insolent of a girl. Dating a girl who just does what she's told would be pretty boring myself. Girls are all anyone wants. Oh. Whoa, she actually makes the first move. Hakozaki-san. Just because she's drunk. That's just how it is. She gets a little bold. Oh, she tries to do the just kidding, but just kidding, just kidding. You got out-kidded. I've always thought you were cute, Hakozaki-san. I actually knew you were in my class from the start, and after seeing you cry and get mad, I've only found you cuter. You're acting so cute. Ooh. So Kodomo-san, again, it's Japan. People are pretty afraid of having other people find out about their sexuality, having that deteriorate relationships and stuff. And it's like, not that I support this, of course, and we've talked about this sort of thing with Yuri videos before. So it's like kind of complicated because, of course, I support full sexual liberation and people being able to be proud of whomever they're attracted to, as long as it's a loving, consensual relationship, and that you know, yeah. But if this was set in a progressive country, then probably it would have come up a lot sooner. That Kodomo-san would just be like, "Oh yeah, by the way, I'm gay," you know, just letting you know. And they would have been like, "Oh yeah, that's fine," and the friendship would have been fine. You know, like that's something that happens all the time these days. And yet the secretness of it here, the fact that she's being like so considerate, that she's like so afraid to breach what she sees as trust, to breach this unspoken assumption that she's straight, that in this situation when really, you know, she could press the issue a little more. They could actually just have an open conversation about, like, not just I'm actually attracted to you, like, would you like to date? Like, would you like to pursue this relationship? She backs off. She's like, let's go to sleep. You'll probably forget about this. It's tragic. It's tragic. It's very compelling. It's so sad. It has just this like very soft sadness where it's like the forces of their love, their mutual attraction, are so strong. They're like two raging fires, and yet because of this hesitation right at the edges, because of this anxiety that they feel right at the very outer edges of their feeling, it's like they only can connect and just smoke and fog and confusion. It's such just this soft, sad feeling. So the next morning, she wakes up. I trust myself to keep my hands off you if we slept in the same bed. It wouldn't be very nice of me to make Move on a girl who's dead drunk. Wow. So she's actually, never mind. In the end, I guess because in the moment she was like very, very nervous and also probably quite a bit drunk. And very aware that, of course, Hagazaki Sensei was very drunk too, so she backed off. But now that in the cold light of sobriety, she's probably been pretty miserable all night. She's like, ah, screw it, I'll just say it. I'll just say the truth now. Like, I did kiss you. And she even admits that too. Because she's kind of like, well, whatever. Like, I might have just ruined everything. She's not gambling on the fact that maybe she forgot about the kiss or what she said. She's like, all right, I'm just going to own up to it. It's, again, the emotional maturity in this series I think is fantastic. This is the route you take instead of just angst. And what does it lead to? It's avoiding me. Not that I really have anything to say, but it just doesn't sit right with me. So this pattern, of course, is quite common too. You think you've gone over the line. You think the other person will be mad at you or want to withdraw from you. And therefore, to kind of spare yourself that additional pain, you withdraw first. And that's a good one. that's real. That's sad. It's in your mind. No, she's taking the angst route. Communication. Communication is the only thing that can defeat angst. She says the no, it's nothing. Whenever anyone tells you no, it's nothing, it's like, hey, you trying to milk angst? You trying to get some angst chapters? Look, this is just a flashback bonus chapter. We don't have time for this. The series is ending. Even if this was the main plot, we don't have time for this. I brought up Kodomos. See, yeah, this is what I'm talking about. The stigmatization. And again, usually just leads to a lot of angst because it defeats communication, because it makes people not open and honest with themselves, and of course it's very horrible because of that. Heteronormative monocultures and implicit disapproval of homosexuality or any other sexualities. That kind of ticks me off. Yeah. Okay, so from this, like, I'm sure she's not like resolute. Oh no, I want to go out with her, but she's starting to realize, like, oh, like, have I maybe internalized homophobia? Isn't this whole homophobia thing pretty BS? She's like, hey, wait a minute. Oh yeah, look at that. Something I think has kind of clicked for her. And again, it's like, I think if you read from this the moral message of, like, by rebelling against homophobia, people can have kind of sexual awakenings and learn things about themselves. I don't think that's what it's really saying. That might be literally what happened here, but I'm sure if she just grew up in a country that was more open and progressive and accepting, she would have had this realization a long time ago, and under probably much more favorable circumstances. And anyways, all I'm trying to say is that it's not good. And yet, I also have to acknowledge it leads to interesting plot lines. A culture of homophobia. Why are you avoiding? Perfectly capable of getting a boyfriend, so you don't need to settle for me or anything. And I thought that would probably be better for you anyways. Ooh. So this at first seems like very kind of tangential. Like, this is just nothing to do kind of with what she's been thinking about. But it really shows that Riko here has been... No, wait, Riko is Sensei. Well, I don't remember their first names. Kodomos-san has been just entirely within her own head this entire time. That she's been pretty miserable and probably overthinking a lot of this. So just this fact that she kind of starts rambling on with, like, a bunch of excuses that have been going through her head, I think is like a nice indicator of kind of her own mental state. I hate that. Why are you saying stuff like that? I will decide what I want to do myself. Yeah. Yeah. Get mad. Yeah. What does that mean? I only feeling this because I'm on the rebound. Does that mean you wouldn't mind dating me? I don't know. I don't know. So do you want to give it a try? Ah. Oh, that's so nice. Oh my god, this is so great. Okay, and then we cut to present day. This is the aftermath of the previous chapter. Sake-san's senpai for a while. The senpai to Sake-senpai. It's pretty hard to help guide kids. Teachers are amazing. It's not like teachers can decide things for their students. Okay, so this is actually kind of cool. That, like, I think probably one of the reasons she... I mean, this is kind of just conjecture. This is just my own headcanon extrapolating on the characters. But the fact that I can do this so naturally and so that it makes me so happy to do so, I think is a mark of really good character writing. So think about the sort of person that Sensei is here, that Hakuzake Sensei is. She's fierce about not being told what to do. She doesn't like the idea of people having authority of how she thinks of herself, of how she conducts her life. So probably through her life, as she kind of realizes this more and more about her personality, she's thinking back to teachers she had that were too authoritative, that were always telling her what to do, what to think, how to feel. And she's like, no, I want to be a better teacher than that. I want to be a teacher that can help students but not decide things for them. All we can do for them when they're unsure of themselves is nod our heads encouragingly. Yeah, to just encourage them down paths of their own choosing. That's the sort of teacher she wanted to become. And that's the sort of teacher she is. That's so great. This is so great. I mean, I don't know. Like, again, I don't know. Is that why she became a teacher? I don't know. But it makes sense, doesn't it? So it's nice. I hope I was able to do that much for her. It's not like adults know if their decisions are going to be right either. Aww. Broken with you a long time ago if I did. So testing this out. Feel free to as long as you like. Alright. Nice. Beautiful chapter. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Very self-contained. And yet reveals so much about these characters whom we've grown to love. Alright. And after this we're going to plunge back into the main series. The class trip begins. I gotta say, with Sake-senpai, as I said before, it's like watching the train. You're just watching the train, and you look over there, and you're like, there's no tracks there. There's no tracks there, and the train is still going. The train is speeding up. And you're like, you don't know what to do. You don't know what to do. There's nothing you can do. Okay. All right, let's watch the train crash.